right now on 5 on your side at 10.
We start tonight in a storm alert. Just minutes ago, a tornado watch was issued for many of our Illinois counties as storms develop along a powerful cold front moving across the bi-state tonight. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. After reaching a record 86 degrees today, temperatures are expected to drop to 60 degrees overnight. And we get straight over to meteorologist Jim Castillo, who's tracking the chances of some severe weather. Jim?
Yes, and we're expecting that mainly east of the Mississippi in 11 of our Illinois counties, not including places like Greene, Macoupin, or Montgomery counties, but south of there. And we're watching one cell, eastern Madison County, pushing into Bond County. This is the strongest one so far. It is not severe, but we're watching it move into a more favorable environment and watching it move right along Interstate 70. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Even Lambert had some showers and thunderstorms that rapidly developed over the last hour here. Watching more cells to our north and west, but that cooler, drier air is coming in place and slamming in to that really warm and moist air just to the east of St. Louis. So a tornado watch, there it is. 11 of our counties in Illinois, including the Metro East, until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then look at Kansas City. Snow and sleet, even some thunder snow and sleet right through there. This is a very dynamic system. Chicago had a couple of tornadoes reported tonight. So a tornado watch is east of St. Louis. Watching the radar for really all night here. And then that bitter cold day for tomorrow, much more on the forecast coming up.
And remember, you can get the latest weather first forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. We'll send it straight to your phone.
We are following a developing story out of North St. Louis. Police are investigating a deadly shooting in the Academy Sherman Park neighborhood. A man was found shot to death near the intersection of Del Mar and Clarendon. No word on what led to the shooting or if there have been any arrests. This marks the city's 30th homicide in the first 2 months of 2024.
Tonight, the attorney of one of the men accused of kidnapping, beating, and holding a woman captive at a South St. Louis church is speaking out.
Robert Townsend sat down with the lawyer just a few hours ago and has the interview you will only see here tonight.
Kelly and Mike, attorney Chris Combs represents suspect Grace Capendo. Combs is maintaining his client's innocence and shedding new light on this disturbing case. On Monday, people in this South St. Louis neighborhood expressed shock and sadness after hearing a woman was allegedly kidnapped, beaten, and held against her will at Mount of Olives Ministry.
My heart aches for her. I think it's horrible.
Police say shortly after one Saturday morning, they responded to a call for help at the church. According to a probable cause statement, officers found a woman in a room bound with rope and bleeding from her head.
She was a victim of something. I of course do not believe that my client had anything to do with it.
Chris Combs' client, 28-year-old Grace Capendo, Capendo's brother, Munga Fungamali, and a third man are each charged with kidnapping and assault. Combs says all three suspects are members of the church. He says the woman, who's in her early 20s, and several other men and women live in separate rooms at the church.
It's my understanding that yes, she was suffering from severe mental health issues, and as far as what happened, no one knows.
Combs says during a bond hearing Monday, the woman's parents and siblings supported the suspects and told a judge about a year ago they moved the woman to the St. Louis church to get help. Combs says Friday night a 30-day fast service was underway when police moved in.
She ID'd Mr. Capendo, my client, his brother, and another gentleman. Everyone emphatically denies any involvement in this.
Grace Capendo is a second lieutenant in the Army. He and his wife live in Arnold, and they're expecting their first baby.
I believe that in the coming weeks, a lot of light will be shed on this, and that there's an entirely different story that will come out.
On Monday, the three suspects are back in court for another bond hearing.
Tonight, police continue to search for the man wanted for a shooting in St. Charles County that left a woman critically injured. Police said a witness told investigators the suspect arranged to meet the victim last night at an apartment complex off St. Peter's Howell Road. Police still have not released the man's name or a detailed description because they don't want to compromise the investigation, but they believe he knows the victim.
Tonight, the man accused in the deadly crash that killed a mother and daughter from Chicago is on house arrest. Monty Henderson was in court today, where a judge also ordered him to surrender his driver's license. Earlier this month, a different judge allowed Henderson to post a $20,000 bond without any conditions. And video of that horrific crash is circulating on social media. 5 on Your Side has decided to share some of that video, but we are not showing the moment of impact. The video shows Henderson's car speeding through the intersection of 18th and Olive. Police say he was driving at 70 miles per hour when he clipped another car and then hit Leticia Bracero and Elisa Cordova. They will be buried in Chicago this weekend. Hundreds of dollars could soon be headed to thousands of people who were incarcerated in Ferguson.
A court granted preliminary approval for a settlement to move forward after a civil rights group accused the city of throwing people in jail to make money. New tonight, our Brent Solomon shows us who could be owed a payment.
The local protests following the death of Michael Brown not only giving people a chance to be heard, it also prompted action.
It's thousands of people who Ferguson put in jail.
The Arch City Defenders filed suit against 7 localities in our region, including Ferguson. The group says it all started with
some sort of minor ticket, and then it snowballed where there were fees they couldn't afford, there were fines they couldn't afford, then they were getting additional fines because they didn't come back to court, they were getting locked up, then they would have to pay bond to get out of the jail. If you had $500, you could walk out the door, and if you didn't have $500, you had to sit there in prison, and we think that was unconstitutional.
All of the localities settled. The court just gave preliminary approval to accept the last settlement to the tune of $4.5 million with Ferguson.
If you are a person that remembers sitting in the Ferguson jail because they were holding you there, maybe you were sitting there because you couldn't pay your bond, or maybe you were sitting there, until they released you, you are eligible for money from this settlement.
I asked city leaders here, can Ferguson afford this settlement? And might some city services be impacted as a result? A spokesperson telling me they're not commenting just yet until the court finally approves the settlement. In Ferguson, Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
Anyone was held by Ferguson from February of 2010 to December of 2022 is asked to get in contact with the administrator handling the settlement, and we placed a link for you on KSDK.com. Each person's payout will be based on how many hours they spent in jail.
Just hours ago, St. Louis residents and restaurateurs got another chance to voice their concerns to the Board of Aldermen about a controversial proposal to change the city's liquor license process. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski is live outside City Hall with the latest.
Kelly, this bill's getting mixed reactions. Neighborhoods were largely against it, and the restaurateurs were in favor of it. But now, after considering more than 20 amendments, it's getting a lot more support.
St. Louis Board Bill 60 would allow businesses applying for a restaurant and bar liquor license to opt out of petitioning the neighborhood that's within a 350-foot radius of where they plan to open. Joe Kelly and his firm specialize in liquor license applications and know how tough it can be to get one with the current petition process.
And we find that businesses, if they do their homework, they contact their neighborhood association, they contact their alderperson before they move forward on a project. It is very helpful. But again, the petition process is a cumbersome process.
If this bill becomes law, restaurants can apply for a 90-day temporary liquor license after a series of hearings, and at the end of that, the city's excise commissioner would have the option to renew it. Once 180 days has passed, the commissioner would examine the business's records to make sure the restaurant is making more than 50% of its money on food sales. Restaurateur Ben Paremba says he's in favor of making this process faster, but also knows how hard it can be to reach certain thresholds.
We've experienced serious rise in food costs. And there is a limit to what the public perception of what we can charge for our food. The margins for us are with liquor. It's just the reality of running restaurants post-pandemic.
An alliance of neighborhood associations was against doing away with the petition process, but have come to terms with it after compromises, including a requirement that restaurants applying this way be a maximum of 4,000 square feet and not allowing nightclubs and bars to go this route. James Dwyer with the Central West End Neighborhood Association says one of their bigger issues is with loud music.
So if we have the ability to influence whether they can do business initially or in the long run, then we have a stronger foundation for a conversation.
The restaurateur says in comparison, it only took him 3 weeks to get a liquor license for his county restaurant, but for his city restaurant, it took nearly 9 months under the current law. So now this bill has passed out of committee and will go in front of the full Board of Aldermen possibly later this week. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
The results are coming in tonight from the Michigan presidential primary, and the vote in this crucial swing state is further solidifying a likely rematch between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Trump has been declared the winner in the GOP race. He once again handily defeated Nikki Haley, who has vowed to stay in the race through at least Super Tuesday next week. More delegates will be awarded Saturday during caucus events. Over on the Democrat side, President Joe Biden won with a sizable lead over his competitors. Notably, though, 14% of vote has gone uncommitted. Those voters are protesting President Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas war.
A local nursing facility accused of not paying its bills.
This shouldn't happen at all, especially in this country.
Now a local businessman is out thousands of dollars, still waiting to be paid.
How is this happening?
It's a common practice.
Tonight, the I-Team exposes a wider problem throughout the industry.
And our weather, we're in storm alert with some storms that are popping up mainly on the Illinois side. And this one strong cell just east of Greenville and headed toward Vandalia may have some small hail with it. We'll talk about the tornado watch, who's under that, and the cold weather coming tomorrow.
A St. Louis-based entrepreneur says a local nursing home facility stole from him after he helped staff them for months. Now he can't get in touch with anyone to help.
Sources tell our I-Team it is just the tip of the iceberg. Tonight, senior investigative reporter Paula Fasan brings us an exclusive investigation into a system that often evades accountability.
You can see it was signed.
Dan Asawe's life is one of resilience and ambition. It's now marred by what he says is deceit.
I feel angry. I feel frustrated.
He immigrated to the United States from Kenya with dreams of success. He became an entrepreneur, creating a healthcare staffing company. But what started as a promising venture soon spiraled into a nightmare of unpaid debts.
This shouldn't happen at all, especially in this country.
The nightmare started when he signed a contract with Town & Country Health and Rehab. He provided around 20 staff members. His first payment from the nursing home was late.
Was that your first red flag?
I thought, okay, something's off.
Then came this payment plan signed by the owner, a man at an investment firm called Goldner Family Trust, which owns nursing homes around the country.
They're supposed to pay $5,000 every week.
Until the debt was paid off.
They never made a single payment.
Asawe says he's owed $150,000. The I-Team spoke directly with someone who worked with the owner of Goldner Family Trust. They say the owner has done this before, contracting for services and then refusing to pay. Industry sources say they settle in court for a fraction of the cost, file for bankruptcy, or transfer ownership. One term shows up repeatedly in court records: breach of contract.
How is this happening?
It's a common practice.
Sam Brooks works at the National Consumer Voice, a nonprofit advocating for better care. He says owners of nursing homes are not held accountable.
Unfortunately, for many of the homes that they purchase, they fail within years because the care quality is so bad. And meanwhile, residents suffer.
Our repeated attempts to contact Goldner Family Trust and the nursing home were met with silence. So we showed up.
Are you aware of contractors not being paid for their services?
I am not. I apologize.
Who can we be in touch with for answers?
I do not know. I'll reach out. I'm going to reach out right now to see. I think an email was previously sent.
I did send an email. I've emailed. I've called. I'm trying to get answers.
Then we got this statement, which notes this nursing home is now under new ownership. Attorneys and industry sources tell us it's a way to dodge liability. All while documents sourcing government data reveal a pattern of poor ratings and allegations of mismanagement across many of Goldner Family Trust facilities nationwide. We dug through lawsuits, which paint a dire picture. At one of its nursing homes in Kansas City, a man was found dead next to his wheelchair. He was covered in scratches, bruises, and bugs, according to court filings.
Do you think you'll ever get this money back?
I hope I can get the money back or some kind of justice, because I believe they've been doing this for a while.
As our investigation continues, one thing becomes clear. The nursing home industry's most vulnerable are being failed by those meant to care for them. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
And if you would like to get in touch with our I-Team, leave a voice message. The number's 314-444-5231, or email Paula directly. The address, tips@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
Well, we are in storm alert tonight. Weather First meteorologist Jim Castillo joins us now with the latest on these tornado watches.
Yes, and no warnings right now, but we're keeping a close eye, you know, on all these storms that are beginning to pop up around the area. So the high today, 86, the warmest it's ever been in February in St. Louis, and so early in the season. So watching right along Interstate 70, we're seeing a development of showers and storms. None of these are severe, but a lot of lightning, some downpours, and possibly some small hail. Brand new development all the way down to Summerfield, and that's just around the Belleville area, just northeast of there, and right along Interstate 64, and then more by Bowling Green. But you know, that cold front has already pushed through. Even Lambert had a thunderstorm earlier. Now we've dropped to 54 degrees from that high of 86, which was a record, and a new storm down around Cuba, just south of Cuba, Crawford County, headed into Washington County. So we'll watch these as we go into the overnight hours, but right now not seeing anything severe popping up. But just east of the Mississippi River is where we had that tornado watch for 11 of our Illinois counties. It does not include Jersey, Macoupin, Montgomery, and Greene counties, but everybody else from Clay County to Randolph County to St. Clair County and also Madison County until 5 a.m. It could very well be probably discontinued later on this evening, probably after midnight, because this is really moving through here pretty quickly. So that cold front already pushing through. We're already seeing those temperatures drop like a rock. And look at this, by morning, we're in the 20s, but that wind chill, with the wind chill, gusts to about 40 miles an hour, likely feeling more like the teens by 7 a.m. And right now, here's the skyline of St. Louis, and to the east, you can occasionally see some of that lightning. But there's that front. It's actually already pushed through St. Louis, and that tornado watch extends all the way to Indianapolis, Cincinnati, and also into Dayton, Ohio. So there's that new temperature for us right through the city. That's why on the Missouri side, we're not expecting as much in the way of thunderstorm activity, and definitely not expecting any severe weather. It's the Illinois side, that more moist side, and also warmer side. Flora, you're at 72 and 69 at Mount Vernon, but look what's coming our way. Kansas City's at 21. Again, those wind chills down in the teens as we get into tomorrow morning. So get ready for that. 41 degrees for that high for tomorrow, and Thursday 53. But if you love that warmer weather, we have temperatures for you in the 70s this upcoming weekend. In fact, even by Sunday, we're a little bit closer to 80 degrees. But tonight, even Scotty's in here, and we'll be watching that radar for several hours for you in case we do get any severe weather.
All right, Jim, thanks.
All right, Frank is next with sports.
The Blues needed a win tonight. Did they get it? City SC is trying to get a win, and Sonny Gray is one passionate pitcher.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
This is a rocky stretch with the Blues. They have a back-to-back at Winnipeg and Edmonton. They are two of the most gifted teams in the West, and the note came in losers of 4 of their last 6. First stop, Winnipeg. Braden Shen is tougher than a steak from Ponderosa. He was courageous against 6'5" Adam Lowry. 2-0 Jets in the first. Marco Scandella shoots. Pavel Buchnevich rebounds. We have a 2-1 game. But Kyle Connor breaks loose. He beats Joel Hofer 3-1 Jets. Blues will show a pulse in the second, scramble in front. Brandon Saad will get the goal, but the Jets win it 4-2.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
Game 2 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup tonight. It's an international competition with a great soccer history. My only question is, why do you start a soccer game in Houston at 9:30 at night? Why not just play the game at midnight in pajamas? First half scoreless game, Klaus with the steal, and he spoon feeds Sam Adeniran, but Steve Clark will make a great save. City could not really get off a shot, so close anyway, still scoreless in the first half. If City wins or ties, they advance to the Sweet 16.
Taking Flight, Card Spring Training, sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
One of his best friends is Brett Hall, and like Brett, he's verbal and talented. Today, Sonny Gray took the mound for the first time as a Cardinal, and before he did that, Ali Marmol announced Sonny will pitch in the opener March 20th in Dodger Stadium. Sonny came out firing at the Boston Red Sox. He gets one of his 2 strikeouts here. He threw 40 pitches in 2 innings, giving up 2 hits and 2 walks. And he helped himself out. His throw is on the money to get the pickoff at second. He finishes with another strikeout as the Cardinals rally to earn a 3-3 tie. Gray talked afterwards, and he was still agitated about his control.
It is what it is. I was able to make a pitch. The defense, Wilson threw a guy out. We picked a guy off. We got some things to help get out of some jams, and all those are good things.
But it starts with Sonny Gray. He's got to give you 33 starts. He's got to keep you in a lot of ball games. He's got to keep the ball in the ballpark. He's got to be able to go out and just shut guys down, especially the good teams. And he's done that throughout his career.
It's official. Brandon Crawford is going to be joining the Cardinals. It's a 1-year deal worth $2 million, and the 37-year-old former World Series champion, Gold Glover, and All-Star knows his role with the club.
They have Mason Wynn, who's young prospect, shortstop, supposed to be his job, and I'm here to help him out in any way that I can, and obviously help the team any way I can also.
We don't want to have so much pressure on him that it gets in the way of him having success. Now he has a little bit of a lifeline. He has someone that can help him grow, and we think he'll benefit from that.
Playoff time for high school basketball, and the Metro East has a pair of girls teams going to state. The Nashville Hornets are one of those teams. It's a basketball crazy town full of history that's looking for its first girls title since 2013. Nashville starts 3 freshmen and has played one of the toughest schedules in the state, but that has helped to prepare them for this moment.
It's all about perspective, right? So some people said, man, it's unfortunate everybody's good at once. It's tougher to go to state. But I think it's great for the girls' game. It's great having opponents that get after it and compete well.
You can really see the community come together. Everyone truly loves to come out and watch you play. I was so emotional last night, just getting that super sectional. Going up to state has been a dream of mine.
Good luck to them. And one other high school basketball note, Priory won at Palmyra tonight. They were 26-1. Priory is one of the great Cinderella stories in high school basketball. They'll now move to the quarterfinals against Montgomery County. Congratulations to that school.
What happens when Tommy Edmond comes back? I know he's injured. He's got an injured wrist right now. What happens to him? Is he just an outfielder now?
Yes, they view him as a full-time center fielder.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thanks.
All right, the Lake of the Ozarks is the backdrop of another TV show, but this one is more dazzling than dark. Tomorrow is National Pancake Day. To celebrate, yes, Eggo is letting you book a stay in a literal house of pancakes. It features breakfast-inspired decor, syrup-infused air, and of course a freezer full of frozen flapjacks. This pancake paradise is located in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The rate on HomeToGo.com is just as appetizing because it's free.
HGTV has a new show based out of Missouri. Lakefront Empire will feature real estate agents selling waterfront properties at the Lake of the Ozarks. The network calls the destination the Hamptons of the Midwest. The show premieres March 11th.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
So you have an update on our storm alert.
Yeah, so the great news is we're not seeing any severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings. We're still watching. our eastern Illinois counties because this development that we've had already is moving into some more unstable air. It's a little bit more moisture to work with. And so a tornado watch is in effect for the Metro East eastward all the way to Cincinnati until 5 a.m. And that future cast just showing the front, it's already moved through St. Louis actually. And look how cold it gets tomorrow. 41 for the high, but in the morning we're in the 20s and the wind chill in the teens. It's very blustery. And then by the weekend though, we're back into the 70s. So just unbelievable up and down.
Yeah. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with the Today in St. Louis crew at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.